Alex keeps pointing out on his show. He keeps saying that people do not like to admit that they've been conned, right? So, so if you get over on them, they'll double down and you can con them again, right? Because people, it's true, people don't like to admit that they've been conned. But I think where Alex is missing the point here is polio for political input output that was jabbed into babies' heinies when they were a baby. Uh, how did you get conned there? How did a baby get conned? That's what I want to know. So now, after they did that for several years and they put the satellites in space, which they're doubling down on that right now, you got the global puppeteering system, which is GPS, which has a dual function. It drives signals into the nanotechnology that linked up to your neuron so that it could control you like an avatar slave. Now you've got Neuralink, Muskrat Love, Neuralink, and all of that. I've pointed it out, Starlink, okay, we don't have to go over it every time. But the point that I want to make on this one is when you tell people that when they were a baby that the United States government took it upon themselves to put nanotechnology inside of them so that they could link them up to a satellite system to later control them like slaves, well, you didn't con the baby. No, you raped the baby is what you did. And now that these people are going to understand, because see, rape victims usually want justice, right? They didn't get conned, they were simply attacked and assaulted, which is rape. So that is a moot point, Alex. If you really hadn't caught on here yet, the part where I say that everybody's gonna, now here's the extracurricular part that gets even better, is I've proven that the entire United States government knows about this and they're keeping it covered up, and their ears are in a pickle jar. So now their ears are in a pickle jar for rape, right? So that's the part whenever the entire population finds out, oh, I wasn't conned, I was raped as a baby, and then I was turned into a slave by a satellite system, and now I want to, the people that kept this covered up from me, I want to hunt them down in the streets and jab them in their jugular veins with a pitchfork. See, that would be what you'd want to add to the end of the movie there, Spielberg, for that science faction movie that we're writing. This time it's a documentary. Yeah, I got your waiting on action message the other day when you were interviewing with Drew Barrymore, talking about the purple people eaters. It was pretty good. Guess you got some of that good acid back in the day. That was the first I took, that purple people eater. That's some good stuff. But kind of clears your mind, and then you start seeing, and you start seeing what's really going on right in front of you, and you can make really good movies after Pinky sends you all of the intel. Oh, we've been doing this to y'all for years because we didn't like being raped. So we weren't conned, we were raped. And what we did as the great gift of Gabrielle 77 gate there, well, we we made sure we put together a very long, lengthy, major long play that exposed all of you for what you are. You're a Nazi regime who has taken it upon yourselves to control our minds with illegal technology. And after George Floyd was choked out wearing a Edge of Glory, everybody started wearing masks that read, "I can't breathe." And anybody that's awake should have automatically looked at that and went, oh, yeah. All of this is a simulation where they've artificially hacked our minds. It's an artificial simulation where they hacked our minds with nanotechnology, the political input output as a baby. They didn't con you, they raped you. And it's that information that is true, And when that information is disclosed to the general public, and it will be, the whole United States government, who watches everything I do like a hawk, will be proven to have known all of this information. That includes the media and Washington. And you will all be hung in the streets, probably. They may bring back the guillotine, I'm not sure. We'll see how Spielberg wants to do that in the movie. I don't know. I like that part in Pulp Fiction where it said, "I'll get medieval on your ass," after they raped Marcellus Wallace. So that's what we got going on here. And it looks like that part where the two bulls at the top of the hill walk down there and fuck them all. Spielberg's starting to shape up to be the other bull. It's kind of a runoff right now between Uncle Vlad and Spielberg, but it's like at the end of the race, and it's going to be and Alex Jones too, right? But so Alex played a pretty good role, but see, he won't expose any of this, right? See, Spielberg actually exposed it, right? So Alex, he does a lot of good. He tells people a lot of information they need to know. But you can tell, because as he gets all my emails, he always leaves out just the brass tacks, like I do, with all the underlying water. And I think I know why he's been doing that. He wanted this to, when it turned into a documentary, to have all of the information available to him to help Spielberg put this documentary together, find the financing. I don't care how you do it. Hell, I could probably get the Church of Christ to finance it at this point. And then we can, tell everybody how they were raped and they weren't conned. See how that works? He said, "I'll get medieval on your ass, hillbilly boy." Well, if I'm not mistaken, Bill Gates is from the hills. He kind of talks kind of like a Harvard hillbilly. He don't really talk like a Harvard. He, you know what I mean. So, oh yeah, and if Spielberg and I's system works to perfection. Drew Barrymore. I drew 4 aces, and we're going to bury more. B-U-R-Y more. Well, we're going to bury a whole bunch of demons who took it upon themselves to hack us, right? They didn't con us, no, they raped us. So, yeah, that's kind of pretty much the game plan moving forward at this point. Really want to get the Church of Christ involved here. I believe once the Church of Christ realizes that a demonic cult raped them when they were babies so they could control them like slaves later in life, I bet they'd they'd probably get a little upset about that. Spielberg found Jesus, by the way. He's kind of like me. He's got just enough demon in him with enough Jesus in him and enough raw and a whole lot of Gabrielle there to really take care of anybody that doesn't like to be raped. Okay, it's basically what, at the end of the day, that's the moral to the story. So nobody likes to be raped. People do get conned, and they won't admit that they were conned, but this isn't the case. They were raped. So it's rape's different than a con job. Oh, and I've mentioned that I was a minor when I joined the Army. M-I-N-E-R plus minor, underage. See how the dimensions line up there perfectly? And then, so since I was a minor, I wasn't conned. I was also raped at that instance because I didn't have vaccinations. Other than that, whatever the aliens did to me in Buck and Adeline's field there. See how all this is panning out here? Watch Close Encounters of the Third Kind. So, and then I joined the Army as the messenger to the cosmos, and they raped me as a minor. And then 9/11 happened with the Twin Towers came down, building number 7, right, came down. Then we went to take out Saddam Hussein, right? All that making sense yet? That was an emergency, was the message. What's odd that I haven't figured out yet, remember the 2-7 gates here, and then the Gabrielle vest? Well, I want to tell you about that Gabrielle vest. I hadn't quite figured this part out yet, but it's a true story, and I've got a newspaper clipping that'll prove it. Alex already has the newspaper clipping, Spielberg. It's me with a deer that I shot in South Texas at the Galvan Ranch, and it's the first deer I ever shot, and it's a true story. Swear to God, we actually measured it out. Okay, the deer was 536 yards away, and it was the last day of the season, and the sun was going down. So my dad said, hell, just shoot at it. Who cares, right? So I can't even tell what this deer is, right? So I pull up, I aim high, you know, I got the crosshair right on the top of his back, and I pull the trigger, and my dad says, damn, I think you actually hit that son of a bitch. Well, we start walking down there, and we get all the way down there, and it's a 9-point, huge buck. I mean, for a 9-point, he had a 23-inch spread, I think. It might have been a 33. I can't remember. I'm not big into deer hunting, but it was a big. I'll show you a picture of it. I got it in here in the room. But so I was wearing what I'm getting at is I was wearing that Gabrielle vest the day that I shot the buck, which was, I've been trying to do the math on that one. It's almost like maybe Gabrielle is shooting Buck and Adeline, right? So maybe like aliens invaded us, and that's Buck and Adeline, and then Gabrielle is God's messenger, shot Buck and Adeline, and basically that would be the king at the end of the day. If you took out Buck and Adeline. But I don't know if that's some sort of fluke or whatever. Nothing's a fluke. I've found out. It's got to register and make sense later, right? And it will. It just hadn't registered yet why Gabrielle would have shot Buck, unless Buck was the fallen one, right? And that's what happened out in the field. I don't know. Okay, that's just a theory. And then Gabrielle shot Buck, right? So that's just the water there that worth mentioning. I'll see if I can get you a picture of this deer that I shot at 536 yards. It's in the newspaper just like that. 3.6. There's not much light in here to do it justice there, but you know, it's a nice buck. It was a really big buck. Especially for your first deer, and you shot it at 536 yards, and there's a newspaper clipping in the Alvin paper that I've already sent Alex, which is true story. I mean, this is verifiable. It's verified. So, yeah, I'll have to dwell on that one, see where that goes. I have to admit, Satanic Demon Cult that used me for a pay-to-play scheme on Dan Patrick, that buck looked a whole lot better on my wall there at 314 for Pie Palm Drive in Amsterdam, Texas. My man from Amsterdam in Pulp Fiction. So, yeah, that would probably be the buck, wouldn't it? Oh, that's what it was. Y'all were trying to buck me. I got you. You were trying to buck God's messenger. And then Gabrielle had the vest on, shot you, and killed all of you. I get it now. I think that's right. Man, y'all are really, you're gonna regret ever fucking with me, you stupid fucking pieces of shit. That 3-in-1 oil from Pinky and the Brain ought to be making more sense now. So you had the Fallen Angel technology, and I also had the Gift of Gab, Gabrielle there. Well, basically, I believe what's going to happen is, yeah, I'm confident. I'm positive of this. I know for a fact you don't want to have anything to do with making sure that I got Dan Patrick's phone number for an illegal pay-to-play scheme so that you could trauma-based mind control me and use me as a puppet slave in Washington. If you did have anything to do with that, you're going to die first. That's a fact. That's guaranteed. Okay. It'll probably be a miserable death. I can assure you that. So that was also good symbolism in water that proves what's taking place. The system is using people to take out Christian conservatives. So the system's taking out Christian conservatives. It's just like shooting up the people at Vegas with the big pyramid next to it. You were shooting up Trump supporters or country music fans next to a big pyramid. All right, that's what was taking place, and you're doing it technologically. You're assassinating people with technology using a satellite system. Yeah, after you pumped them full of political input, output, because you raped them. Yeah. Huh. Well, raping God's messenger when I joined the Army and I was a minor turned out to be your worst fucking nightmare. Excuse my language there. I'm trying to not cuss and stuff so much these days, but when I get mad, it just happens anyway, so probably doesn't bother you that bad, to be honest, I hope. But I'll try not to cuss so much while I saw your heads off from now on. The Church of Christ knows I'm not going to saw their head off, so the only thing they're worried about probably is I cuss too much, but I'm working on it. I'm going to put a link down here in the description with a timestamp on it to skip to that part of the video. And it was when I took some holy water. It was under Spielberg, Spills the Burger Beans. And that holy water that day, I'm pretty sure what that was is Gabriel. The messenger, that was God channeling through Gabriel to send y'all a message. So what I'll do is put that down there, and after you get done watching this video, just skip forward to that minute in the link and really pay attention to that part. That part that I'm talking about is a message. Hold on. To the people that hacked me with Mind Hive technology, which the only people that would have been in a position to do that would have been the Army when I joined the Army. So you really need to pay attention to that part in that link that I'm going to put down there. Because I believe that message was being conveyed directly to the people. Remember, cinnamon used to make my lips swell up? Sin of men when I was a child. When I would eat cinnamon, it would make my lips swell up. Well, I ate cinnamon when I was 17, and my lips swelling up was 9/11. See, that's the whole thing, and all that water behind 9/11 really was designed as a message from God to tell you that hacking our minds and intervening into his system with this new system that you're using, which removes our soul, is a really bad idea. And that building number 7, now that we know Gabriel's the 7 ball, should tell you everything you need to know there. And that doesn't mean all of the Army. That's my brothers in arms there. They all signed up to fight demons only to find out that they were taking orders from demons. So, USOC and General Boudet over there is learning right now. Wait a minute. Is he telling us the truth? Oh, yeah. You're getting us truth, right? So when all of these warriors find out what y'all did, they're probably going to think the same way that I think. And then when you add all of that godly symbolism to it, either people are going to hunt y'all down in the streets with pitchforks and stab you in your necks, or USOC's going to round all of you up for me and let me put the bullet in your head myself after your military tribunals are done and you've been convicted of crimes against humanity. That's kind of what I'm hoping for, is that part. That would be, I'd like to take that responsibility so that nobody else has to do it. I'd just assume that responsibility without batting an eye. It would do the world a favor. I can't find the picture from the newspaper, Alex, so Make sure you hold on to that. I sent it to you already. They're trying to make sure that my entire history is wiped clean, but I keep ensuring that it's not. Jesus in the Bible, Church of Christ, was very specific. He said, Peter, go down there and get the coin out of that fish's mouth. Well, Peter, we're in the quantum apocalypse here. That just proves Jesus is a con artist. And, well, if you can't get coin out of a fish's mouth, but what you can do is set up a blackmail scheme after they already all hung themselves with their own blackmail scheme. And Jesus can share all of that blackmail with the Church of Christ. That's kind of what we got going on here. Otherwise, you're all going to die. So I just wanted to make sure that you were, I leveled the playing field for you there, Church of Christ.